I couldn't air it on the radio because I was literally afraid that somebody would die. I literally thought I would make a bad situation worse, when my intent was to try to smooth it out and make it better. But he was so angry and passionate at the time that I really felt like if I would have came, put it on the radio, it would have got.
Angie Martinez has finally broken her silence about one of the most explosive moments in hip-hop history. Her unreleased interview with 2Pac Shakur, a 2-hour conversation that could have changed the course of music history. For years, this interview was shrouded in mystery, with some even calling it an urban legend. Now Angie has revealed why she kept the interview under wraps, and the story involves 2Pac's fiery revelations, dark industry secrets, and allegedly Diddy's heavy-handed interference to silence it.
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. Where we have been beefing about whose music is better or which is this or which is that.
It just seems like it's gotten
from
real
the beginning.
bad
It has
right now.
because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest.
Did you feel at any point that you was like betraying New York or Biggie by going to do that interview with 2Pac at that time?
His side of the story was like, how could I be mad at a whole coast that don't even make sense? And I said, well, nobody's heard you say that. Like, this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And what's going down with that? So I wanted to get his view, and here goes a little something.
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. Where we have been beefing about whose music is better or which is this
It
or
just
which
seems
is that
like it's gotten
from the
real
beginning.
bad
It
right
has
now.
because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest. They're self-proclaimed king of New York. You know what I mean? I'm attacking them, so because nobody is separating themselves from them, they
talking about
how
Biggie?
raw. Yes, they still talking about how raw he is and woo woo woo. He's a representative. He represents New York.
There are a lot
every time it benefits New York, he represents New York. When it don't benefit New York, now he's just another rapper.
I'm not
But y'all
saying
let him
that.
wear y'all colors. You let him shout y'all shit out. When Biggie came out here, he screamed out, "Brooklyn's in the house." We don't beat and say, "Why you starting a war?" Why is everybody, when I say West Side, it hurt people's feelings?
I don't think it's because you're saying West Side. I think because,
They think
you know,
they own me.
No, not at all. I think it's because, you know, Dog Pound video came out, New York, and I'm not saying you was in the video. I know you wasn't in the video,
I wasn't
but
in it. I didn't write it. I didn't produce the beat.
All right, so let's
I
take
was in
that.
jail. The album was done while I was in jail. That's separate.
it just, you know what it is? It's New York's visualizing your camp, which to them is Death Row, which is Dog Pound, which is Snoop, and which is, you know, which is that whole thing. And it was all one time. The New York video came out. You know, brothers was stepping on cars in New York, stepping on, you know, on New York like they owned it. Boom, you come out, next video, West Coast.
What about the video? Yes, it is, to me, it is the best coast, and everybody in New York feel like that too. That's why they come out here and party, man. Why is everybody acting like? I'm not saying. I didn't say for me to say Cali is the West Coast. I never said New York ain't shit. I never said New York is the worst coast. I just said where I'm at, where I'm from, is the best coast. Why is that offending people?
Okay.
In the mid-1990s, during the height of the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, Angie Martinez was an ambitious 22-year-old radio host on the rise. Her chance to interview 2Pac wasn't just a career milestone. It was a high-stakes encounter in a dangerous game. 2Pac, who had just signed with Death Row Records and emerged from prison, was a lightning rod for controversy. Known for his sharp tongue and unfiltered honesty, 2Pac reportedly unleashed a barrage of accusations against key industry figures during the interview. Among them, Diddy stood out as a prime target. 2Pac's words, Angie later admitted, were incendiary enough to ignite further violence, potentially putting lives at risk. At the center of this unfolding drama was Diddy, one of the most powerful and polarizing figures in hip-hop at the time. Known for his business acumen and influence, Diddy had a vested interest in silencing anything that could damage his brand. Sources close to Hot 97 claim Diddy's team caught wind of the interview's contents and immediately took action. Allegations suggest that he leveraged his connections to suppress the recording, possibly even threatening Angie to ensure the tape never saw the light of day. At the time, Diddy's control extended beyond music, influencing media and radio in ways that made him nearly untouchable. But the story doesn't end with Angie and Diddy. Other voices from the era have weighed in, shedding light on the volatile atmosphere surrounding the interview. Fat Joe, who was present when the interview was conducted, later praised Angie for her decision to withhold it. According to him, releasing the tape at the time would have been catastrophic, escalating tensions that were already boiling over. He also pointed out how the media played a significant role in sensationalizing the East Coast-West Coast feud, profiting off the chaos while rappers and their families suffered the consequences. Angie's perspective offers a rare glimpse into the moral dilemma she faced as a young journalist navigating an industry fueled by ego and conflict. In recent interviews, she revealed how her intention was to de-escalate tensions, not inflame them. But as a young woman in a male-dominated industry, Angie found herself caught between her conscience and the enormous pressures of the job. "I thought more people would die if I released it," she admitted, highlighting the dangerous stakes of her decision. Meanwhile, whispers of federal involvement have added another layer of intrigue to the story. Rumors suggest that the unreleased interview is now in the hands of federal investigators probing 2Pac's unsolved murder and Diddy's potential ties to the case. With Diddy already facing legal troubles, including allegations of racketeering, some speculate that the tape could become a crucial piece of evidence. If it contains damning statements or revelations, it might change the trajectory of not just Diddy's career,